Hi, I'm Lori with Local Life Magazine, and welcome to my kitchen. So what is on the menu for today? I thought I would make a risotto. Why risotto? Because I've learned to master the technique, and you can too. Risotto is a great dish all seasons. In the spring, you can do shrimp and lemon. In the fall, you can do butternut squash. But today, I'm going to do wild mushroom risotto. Who doesn't like a wild mushroom risotto? So let me go ahead and get started and take the pain, the suffering, the worry about why you spend $30 at a restaurant for risotto. It's easy. All right, let's get started. So first of all, since I'm doing wild mushroom risotto, I'm using two different types of mushrooms. To consider it wild, you need to use two different types. So I'm using the baby bellas, and I'm also using shiitake mushrooms. Simply cut them up. As we all know, mushrooms absorb so much flavor that and so much liquid that you don't need to make them very small. And then I'm going to go ahead and prep my onion. Prepping the onion is always my favorite thing to do in the whole world. It actually is not that intimidating. If you want to learn how to cook, start cutting some onions. They're so fun. So you just take off the outer layers, which is easy peasy. And I'm also, when I do my mushrooms and I prep them, I put them in onion also. So I got this gigantic onion to work with, and it's beautiful. So simply do like I always do with my onions. I make my cuts. As I say, a sharp knife is your friend. And then I put my perpendicular cuts into it. Makes you feel like a real chef. And then you just start simply cutting through your onion. It might splatter all over the place, but don't worry about that, it's fine. You've got someone at home to clean up, I'm sure. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Don't waste anything. Real true cooks never waste anything. Not quite there. All right, good. All right, so I've got all my onions prepped. And I'm going to go ahead, right now it's so easy, we've already done all the prep. Wow, that was easy. And we're going to move over to the stove. Let's go. All right, so we're back at the stove now. I have in my onions that I prepped for the risotto, and then I have my onions I prepped for the wild mushrooms. Remember, they're wild. So what you want to do is you want to put in at least a tablespoon of butter. Get that going, because these kind of cook on this side while you've got everything else going. Don't forget to season as you go. Remember, seasoning is the most important thing you do. Black Beauty, my pepper grinder that I do love, comes out. And then I put in also butter and a little bit of olive oil. Okay, and then we can just go ahead and dump in our, oops, they're all over the stove. That's fine, don't worry. As they go, they will melt down. As you know, mushrooms, you put in a quart of them and it turns into 1/4 of a cup. So I'll add these as they go. Now we're going to go start with our risotto. On the back, I have chicken stock. Chicken stock is heated so that I can turn it off now. So when you add chicken stock to your risotto, it ends up being perfect. Abori rice is the rice that we use for risotto. It's a short grain rice and it has a lot of starch in it. And that starchiness then transforms into this creamy, divine taste that everybody loves. So make sure you use the abori rice. Don't use anything else because it won't work. So go ahead and let's turn on our oven. The mushrooms are nicely, gently sauteing. Turn your oven on. I add olive oil, just enough to coat the bottom, on top of my beautiful onions. And then the most important thing to remember about making risotto is it takes time. So when you go to a restaurant and you order risotto and it's so expensive, you're like, why is it so expensive? It's rice. But it's rice with love. It's rice with love. So go ahead and get these until they're a little bit translucent. After they're translucent, we're going to be adding the rice. And then I always add in the rice after the onions just to toast the rice a little bit. It does an actual absorption, and it's extremely yummy. All right, well, I think that's getting close to being to the point where I can go ahead and put in my rice. This is the first time in history that I've ever measured risotto rice or abori rice for this. I normally just make it up. Once you get used to making risotto, it is so easy to just eyeball everything, but I'm gonna do it kind of by the books. This is about close to 2 cups, which is a lot of, that's a lot. I'm not sure I've made this much, but we'll see how it goes. This is a fun cooking show. This is where we have fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and toast up this abori rice. So you have to give it just a few minutes in order to get that going. So I'm gonna sit. What I think I'll do right now is talk about Kim Crawford. She's my favorite wine in the whole world. I love the Sauvignon Blanc that she has. It's from the Marlborough region. Super great. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour myself a glass and wait for the recipe to catch up. We've been about 3 minutes. It doesn't take long. Don't take too long. So I've already poured my glass of wine, so risotto gets some too. So go ahead and pour in the wine, probably half a cup or so. What I say, and they say with risotto or any cooking with wine, do you cook with a wine that you like, or do you cook with a wine or a cheap wine? I cook with a wine that I like. That way I can have a sip and then stir. Have a sip and then stir. It's my way of doing it. You do whatever works for you. What you want to do is wait till the alcohol dissolves out, because you definitely, I make this for my grandbabies and they don't, the alcohol is not in risotto. So let's go ahead and let that absorb a little bit. Okay, so it has really toasted well. If you were here, you could hear you could smell the perfume of the onion. So you start ladling in your liquid, preferably if it's warm. And what I say to do, so risotto is like an art. It absorbs the rice or the liquid, and then it mellows out. Then it gets more, and needs more, and then mellows out more. So it is sort of a symphony going on in your kitchen. It's kind of fun. That's what I like doing with company, because it's like, you know, you talk a little bit, you gab a little bit, have a glass of your wine, your Kim Crawford that made your risotto so great. I love Kim. And then you go back and you stir. This is why risotto is so good. You have to stir. Once it's absorbed and you can tell that it's going to start sticking to the bottom, you add more. How much chicken stock? I mean, you can take any recipe in the book, but depending on the temperature in your house, the humidity, it all kind of acts as you don't know. So I do, typically this is about 2 cups of rice, and I think I'm going to probably do around 6 cups, but the recipe will be online for sure. So I'm adding more. I'm talking to my friends. I'm stirring my mushrooms. See how fun this is? I love doing this. This is so fun. Risotto is my favorite meal to make for people. Oh, did I tell you you could do a risotto bar? I've done a risotto bar. So I take risotto basic, and then I do shrimp, and I do squash, butternut squash, and then I do my mushrooms. And that way, if someone doesn't like one or the other, they can put it in. It's so cool. Like a taco bar is nothing compared to risotto bar. I'm just saying. It's like one of my favorite things. All my family know that I do that. I have people that don't like mushrooms. I have people that don't like shrimp. And I have people that put it all in. So it works out great. So it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. As soon as it goes down, I might turn it down a little bit. I don't want it to go too hard of a boil. And the tough thing about risotto is that when it's done, it's about 18 minutes, 20 minutes. And so what I do is I get to a point where I feel like the liquid has absorbed as much as it can, and then I simply taste it. If that bite feels chewy but done, then I stop. But you want to keep some liquid at the end, and I'll explain why. All right, so have we all had fun? See, risotto is not hard. As you can see, it looks a little liquidy, but that's what you want. You want a little bit, you want the rice to be nice and plump like that. And you want it to be soft, but a little bit of chew. And then you're gonna add the gold. You know what the gold is? Parmesan, real Parmesan. So you take my measurements, handful, 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 handful. So 4 handfuls. I don't know, maybe 5. So I will measure that out. So at some point in time, let me see how that looks. Oh, it looks beautiful. Don't forget to season, because it always season at every stage. Every stage. I'm gonna do a little bit more Parmesan, and you know why? Because I can. So I think what you want to do is leave it a little bit loose at the end, and then when you add the Parmesan, it starts to tighten up. If you serve this for your family, it's obviously ridiculously hot. At the same time, you don't want to serve it too cold because that starts to absorb it, and the beauty of risotto is that creaminess texture. So what I would say is this is time to be done. Turn the fire off. Our mushrooms, as you can see, are here. I'm doing them a la carte, so when I come back, we're gonna eat and drink. So as you can see, risotto is about fun and flavor. It is labor intensive, but you can have it with all your friends and family. So let's see if it's that good. Let me give it a quick little taste. Gotta get both the mushroom and the risotto. It is so delicious. I say have risotto, a nice piece of crusty bread, and a good glass of wine. Bon appetit.